Welcome to this week's Peeves, Tips and Tricks, part of the Holistic Collaboration series, a holistic lifestyle channel on YouTube, and I am Sherry Bainbridge. And this week I would like to talk a little bit about the intuitive, psychic side of life and share one of my experience to help people maybe understand a little bit better how this kind of works. But I'd like to start with something that I heard the other day, and I just happened to turn on TV, which, by the way, you're going to find as time goes on, these little hints and these things that occur often are very much from spirit. Which side of the spirit? That's a question for sure we have to ask. But it just so happened that Dr. Chopra was on, and he said something that really hit home because I feel like I'm right in the same exact position. When you are at your soul's work, chaos breaks out on the other side of your life. So please excuse as I am going through a very chaotic time, and we will see how all this works out. In the meantime, I'd like to share with you how a psychic person lives with this and how it kind of works to help them. And that's not an easy thing to do because messages can be meant to be wrong in order to teach us something. We can be getting messages from the opposite side of the spectrum. We can be influenced by how we feel and view our messages. It all depends on your experience and your natural ability to understand how it works. Well, the other year I had a wonderful relative of mine pass on. And this happened to be a relative, and I don't believe in death anyway, but he happened to be a relative that had a negative opinion of me. And as time has gone on, I got to the point where I asked, has this person mellowed out in their opinion about me now that they can see me for who I am? And that in my realm, when you ask such a question, you cover yourself quite clearly. You want it to arrive gently. You want to give a human time frame to it. So I always give 72 hours of my time as a human being. Now, that doesn't mean that I ever expect the answer. If it happens, it happens somewhere within that time frame. Now, that being said, there are times that the time has gone on and I have forgotten what I asked, and the answer comes. And now I'm rattling my brain because there's something that feels familiar about this. And now I have my answer. Now, before I continue, please let YouTube know I'm here. And please subscribe and hit the notifications. Notifications seems to work a little better than the subscribe sometimes. So please do that. I would really love to get this information out to people. This is how it works. I move on with my day, totally forget about it. Well, I come home and I have, take a look at this, a salt shaker, right? And I had poured this salt into this grinder. And I came home and I went to use the grinder, and surprise, there's a little spring in this grinder. It's about a 1/2 inch tall, 1/2 inch in diameter. And I'm thinking, wow. Now, the logical mind has to step in, right? How did that get in there? And logically, well, could it have been in the container that I poured in here? Of course it could be. So I just blew it off. The next day, I'm standing at the bank, and I feel boom, 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 3 taps on my shoulder. And from the angle and how it felt, I expected to turn around and see a tall man. No one was there. I looked all the way around. No one was even near me. Fascinating. Now, did I take that as my sign? Not really, because these things happen, and you know, when you're dealing with a relative, somebody you're emotionally involved with, you must question that psychic side much more. The accuracy goes way down when there's an emotional involvement with somebody. So the next day, I come home. So as you can see, this is my water filter. It's a zero filter. So I do use bottled water in this instance, and I pour it through. Now, as you see the top of this container, it's all plastic. And I opened this up. Here's the lid, and this is the spring inside. Look at what the insides look like. There's no metal parts of any kind. It was sitting smack dab in the middle. This one, bigger, rounder. Even the metal was thicker, twice as much as the other spring. Now there's no way, as I pour in the water, I'm watching. It's not inside the container I'm using to pour from, and there's no possible way it could have fallen off from something inside this. There's no other conclusion to come to. And knowing that this person was highly mechanically involved, for me, makes total sense. This person has altered their attitude. And I'm very happy for both of us, because now we can have a relationship that's far more supportive and helpful than we were in this human life. And this is how it works. You must be brutally honest with yourself. And I'll share another story with you. There's a day I went into my chiropractic's office. Wonderful couple up in Idaho Falls. His wife was a highly skilled neurological massage therapist, and he was also a Chinese trained in the art of acupuncture. And I came in that day, and the air is so heavy. And I look at him and say, "Jerry, what's going on here?" You know, and he said, "My uncle has passed away." And I felt so sad for them. So I go to the grocery store ready to get some flowers to show my sadness for their grief. And I go to the flowers, but I can't do it. Darn! I head to the vegetable department, and I'm standing in front of the onions, going, "Seriously? An onion? No way am I doing that." Back to the flowers I go. Can't do it. Back to the onions. Did it one more time. Finally, I'm now getting upset and going, "Fine, I'll get the best onion I can possibly get." And I did. I chose the hardest, the firmest, the sweetest looking, the cleanest looking, the most perfect onion I could find. And I go to their office, and I speak with his wife, and I say, "You know, I have no idea why I'm giving this to you, but your uncle has a gift for you." And I handed over the onion, and I left. Now, what people don't understand, I have no clue why she was being given an onion. None at all. Well, come to find out, she ended up in the hospital a couple of days later. And she knew the moment I gave her that onion what it meant. So when I came back to her office, I asked her, "Please tell me what the onion meant." And she looked at me like I was nuts. "Sherry, don't you know?" No, not at all. Well, an onion is a detoxifier. And she knew the moment I gave it to her that she had some sort of toxin going on. And it alerted her and her husband to act quickly. This is how it works. That deep, deep trust in spirit and the ability to define what spirit is saying. And as I've spoken before, spirit has a way of communicating in many, many, many different ways, right? It comes up through emotions and body sensations. It comes up through irritations that you might feel, or just a vibe that you're picking up on, or maybe even a tone of voice. It's not easy, but it's across the board worldwide. Every single religion believes in the ability to get messages that aid us, correct? Every single culture, every native tribe in our world has this knowledge. These are beautiful things that human beings, especially those that have emotion, have the ability to connect to. Some people talk about orbs, and I just happened to look up and have an orb in the corner of my room. Oh, excuse me, as I just got a little jolted by seeing an orb up there. Orbs are actually communication, and they bring information to us and help us out. Orbs are highly important. They are intelligent. They are beings in and of themselves making a choice to help us out. Orbs are very busy. So if you call in the orbs to help out, make sure you ask for one that is not busy at that time. There are so many little rules that we learn in dealing with the psychic side and the unseen forces that we have. But it's there for us to access if we so choose. The most important, and I cannot give enough emphasis to this, is the ability to learn truth with yourself, because it is for your growth. As an individual, when we learn to become what we love and can love, and we become smarter and more aware of the world around us, it causes us to be more self-sufficient. This 90% of energy that we are is where our body resides, within our truth. And I don't understand it all, and neither do you, and neither does anybody else. Now, what you don't know is these pictures I just shared with you completely disappeared. Completely disappeared. I have no idea what happened to them. They disappeared off my phone. They disappeared off the card. They disappeared off of everything. And yesterday morning, these pictures showed up. That is my clue that this is something that Spirit would like me to share with you. And I'm so grateful that we have this opportunity to share on YouTube. It's a wonderful platform for the average person. We learn so much. I love it. I love it. Please share your experiences like this also. They are fascinating. But always, always be honest about it and truthful about it. Never exaggerate. We are capable of being that close to Spirit, to listen and to get answers that can guide us and aid us. Many ancient ones have come before us. There are many layers in this world, and this just aids us in, well, maneuvering just a little bit better. So please get tuned into your own spidey senses. They're very helpful. Thank you for joining me this week. I hope to see you next week. Namaste. Love, everyone.